Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hidden Pearls Podcast.
Bam, bam, bam.
It is week 9, bye week for the Niners, but week 9 for the Hidden Pearls Podcast. You have two hosts today, and Bruce Kittle, Gandalf the Grey, the Wizard, and myself, George Kittle. We're here. We've had a little bit of a break, but hey, we're back and we're rolling. Emma is unavailable tonight. She's back in Nashville, enjoying herself with her husband. But we thought we'd kick it off to you guys, just give you a little update on last week with the Cowboys, what I do on a bye week, what we do for fun, looking ahead to the Buccaneers, and a couple other things. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourselves. Oh, and a fun fact: this episode is brought to you by Good Vibes. So go out there, spread some joy, put a smile on someone's face, and spread the good vibes. Bruce, how we doing, man?
I'm great. They're one of my favorite sponsors.
It's hard to beat Good Vibes. They're everywhere. You put them into the universe, and they're going to come right back to you. Just good vibes. They're there for everybody. Anybody that wants to use them or put those into the universe, they're there for you.
Yeah, exactly right. The energy we project returns back to us, and so let's just a little more loving kindness and good vibes, and let's roll with it. Okay, that's cool. I'm doing
That's really
great.
good.
Huh?
I was going to say, just speaking of good vibes,
Yeah.
I think I said a little bit, but one thing that I learned from my mom at a very young age is to try to put a smile on someone's face every single day. And maybe they will then do the same thing to someone else. And then you have a lot of people smiling and in a little bit of a better mood. So thank you to our sponsor, Good Vibes. What were you saying, Dad?
Well, I can just tag onto that because actually smiling creates a chemical reaction within the system, which actually produces endorphins, which make us feel good. And then when you smile at someone, it actually increases the endorphins within them if they look at you, and it often causes a slight smile on their own. So, smiling is a very powerful medicine. So, we all have it within us. So, it's a great thing to, I'm glad you're pushing it out. This is a great time of year to be smiling because everything's beautiful and turning and all that kind of stuff. So, good. Well, I'm excited to be here with you, George. Good to see you. And, we're going to circle back, but you've been a little out of touch for a few days. So I'm glad about that. Had a little break with the wife. We'll come
I did.
circle back to that. I know it's a little bit old news, but because it's the bye week and you're not playing this week, we can take a moment to look at that Cowboys game, or just at least kind of celebrate a victory. It's great to be going into the bye week 4-4, end on a great, positive note. Thought Brock looked really good. You had a great game. Really proud of you that way. So a lot of good yak yards, and what was it? 7 receptions, 128 yards, and 1 TD, something like that. I think
Something
close,
like that.
which also pushed you into, I think, your third in a couple categories, receptions and all
I
that
think
kind of stuff.
receptions. No, I think receptions. I'm still fifth, but I hit 500 receptions, and then I think I'm third in total receiving yards in
Total receiver.
franchise.
Okay, so behind only Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice. So anyway,
They were
uh,
pretty good.
they're pretty good. So anyway, I can be your dad for a moment and just say super proud of you and just the longevity that you've shown and your ability to get back on the field. I know you've dealt with a lot of things that a lot of people don't even know about, which is the nature of the NFL, and people don't know what it takes to stay on the field and do all that kind of thing. So anyway, just really proud about your mindset and your work effort and your willingness to embrace the grind. So anyway, so
Thanks, Dad.
congratulations on that. And with the season keep rolling, there's other opportunities there for you. So that's really cool. So anyway, just short takes on the Cowboys. What did we learn about the Niners, and where do you think we made some improvements? And I mean, obviously there's always places to work on, but there were a lot of things that looked pretty good.
Yeah. You know, the nice thing about winning is that when you watch the tape, one, it feels good to win, and when there are things you need to work on, you can highlight those, and um, you know, you can highlight those and then go get better at them, as opposed to losing when everything you're just kind of over analyzing everything, maybe things that don't matter. Just trying to find a way to win. So getting that win was huge just for us in the direction of our season. It's crazy. You look back and, like 4-4 is not a record that we thought we would be at. I would not have guessed that. And it's disappointing because, I feel like we should have at least a couple more wins under our belt. But hey, here we are at 4-4. But, you look back at last year, we were 5-3 going into the bye, just one game difference.
Yep.
And last year everyone's like, oh, wow, this is the greatest team ever, yada, yada, yada. We went on a 3-game losing streak. Everyone's talking about how we were broke. And then we came out, we won a bunch of games straight. And I'm not saying that's exactly how it's going to go this year. I hope that's how it goes. I hope we win a ton of games in a row. That'd be really fun. Winning's really great. But similar places last year. We have a tough schedule ahead of us. And we go to Tampa. We get to Seattle at home. Then we go to Green Bay, right, and then to Buffalo. So those are four difficult games that we're going to have to really figure out and play at a high level for.
Yep.
But I believe in us. Um, believe in this team. And, I think the Cowboys game showed, our defense started the game super hot. They were all over Dallas, making it really difficult for them. Our team forced a bunch of turnovers, got some sacks. That was awesome. Special teams played well. And, our offense, it wasn't, we weren't clicking in the first half, but um, we just got to stay on the field on third downs. That was tough for us. We're still figuring that part out of our game. But we were down 6-10 at halftime. And then we came out, and next thing you know, it was 20 something to 10. And, they fought back, and it became a little bit of a close game. But defense held up when they needed to hold up. Offense made a first down when we needed to make a first down. And there you go. And that's a football game. So we took a step forward in the right direction. That's all you're ever asking for. Rookies are playing at a high level. And guys are figuring out their roles still, and which is okay because we've had some weird injuries to some weird to positions where we thought we were going to be set at, and guys have had to step up and grow up a little bit. And the more reps that they get, the better that they're going to get. So it's fun to see the rookies out there taking steps forward.
Yeah. Well, speaking of rookies, I thought Ricky really stepped in and did some cool things. I mean, it's kind of fun to see him in action, and I just can't believe, 2 months ago he got shot, and here he is playing, and so really a testament to him. But he certainly showed some upsides there, and feels like they're going to be able to work him in more and more to the system, especially with not everybody back. So that'll be pretty cool that way.
100%. I am a huge fan of Ricky. He's one of my locker mates. He's like 3 lockers down from me. So I see him every single day. We talk every single day in this locker room. Um, I love Ricky. I think he's had a fantastic work ethic ever since he's been here. He's very hard on himself. He critiques himself really hard. Like if he doesn't make a play, he's very disappointed in himself, but like he doesn't let it linger on him. Like he doesn't let it snowball,
Right.
which is a great thing. That is a veteran mindset. Like you want to make every single play, practice or games, but sometimes you don't. And like how do you bounce back and then make the next play, right? And he's done a really good job with that. And I think he took advantage of all his opportunities in the Cowboys game.
Yep.
And just the more he's on the football field, the better he's going to get. He's a freak athlete, runs great routes. He's got some spice to him too. He can like run choice routes on people. He's very shifty, but he's got that linear speed too. And I think you saw there was a third down where Brock was hot, 2 guys off the edge. He stepped in and he threw the ball with like 3 steps before Ricky was breaking out, and it found him right in the money. And that's just that's kind of Brock forcing the trust onto Ricky. Like, hey, I am expecting you to be here. You need to be here, and he was. And
Yep.
that's something that's not a route that they've gotten a ton of reps at. They've gotten a handful here and there, a little bit in OTAs, a little bit in training camp, but not a ton. So for Brock just to have the confidence in, hey, this is a play Kyle called, you need to be ready versus pressure, and he was ready versus pressure, did what he was supposed to do. So that's just that's a huge play. And like, well, I think a lot of people see that as just hey, that's one catch for whatever 12, 13 yards. When you go back and look at it as a 49er, it's hey, that's a huge step in Ricky's career just because Brock now has just that level of trust in him that he's going to do the right thing when his number is called,
Well,
and that's
they just
huge.
feel more about, maybe not everybody's appreciating it, but when they're bringing two off the edge, we're outnumbered. Brock knows he's got to be hot because he can't cover everybody. We can't block everybody. So the wide receiver's got a responsibility. He's got to check not only the coverages, but he's got to look inside to see who's showing that blitz and then alter his route in order to be hot and available for Brock. And so I just think that's so reading defense, reading a blitz, and then knowing how to adjust his route in anticipation of where Brock's going to throw it, and that they were both on the same page. I mean, there's so many little pieces that go into making that work, and that's really cool. So it's a really testament to him and
Yeah,
Brock having the nuts to throw it out there. So that's pretty cool.
yeah, just hey, there's pressure on you. Third down, there's a lot of pressure on you to make a play. Otherwise the drive is dead. And for Ricky to go out there and just do what he's supposed to do, things that we've talked about. And like I said, like you can talk about things all you want, and it's hard. Some guys can really, some guys can take things directly from the meeting room and just like have it memorized. I would say that's a majority of the league is not like that.
Right.
A majority of the league they need to hear it, and then they need to experience it once or twice throughout the week, so that when the game comes, they don't have to think about it. And I don't know if like they necessarily got those reps during the week, but Ricky was ready for it, and he executed when he needed to execute it.
Yeah. So that's good. And earlier in the season we were on, I can't remember which show, but one thing you kind of talked about, despite wins or losses, is that as month to month goes by, really week to week, the main goal is to try to be better than you were the last week you came out. You know what I mean? And so it
Yeah.
really it felt like that this time, even though I know we were short some people and all that kind of stuff, but just overall the feeling felt a lot stronger, and like momentum was there and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, testament to you guys, because with the way the Cowboys came back like that, there was kind of that and then there you go, that feeling again. But you guys just shut the door on them and did what you had to do to close. So I think that's a really good confidence builder as well. Just kind of getting back to Niner ball, closing things out, and shutting the door on people.
Yep, very much so. And and like we still have things to work on. We were 8 for 16 on third down, 50%. We want to be better than that.
Yep.
We want to be better on first and second down, so we have less third downs to go through. We had an opportunity at the end of game two when we were up 2 scores, and we couldn't convert. Defense, and they go down and score, and then we couldn't convert it. We couldn't convert. Defense holds them to 4 and out, and then we finally get a first down to end the game. So it's like we still have things to work on, obviously, as an offense. But our run game was better this week. I think we ran for over 200, and then Brock looked great, and our wide receivers are playing well. So we're taking little steps in the right direction, and um, it's good for the Niners, but still things to get better at.
Yeah, and I would say one of the highlights for me, in addition to the catches you had, fun to see you rumbling a little bit again. You know what I mean? The yak yards were way up, and I think that's really exciting. And I feel like yak is such a defeating kind of element of the game to defenses. I think
Yeah.
they got you where they want you. You catch an 8 or 9 or 10 yard ball or whatever, and turn it into 30 or 40, and you got 4 guys chasing you, and you're dragging guys and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of it's the tip of the spear in a way. Just kind of, I think it really undermines their confidence. So anyway, that was really fun. I just saw a lot more of that, so that was really great to see. So, all right, anything else? We'll let the Cowboys go by, and let her roll. So, and that was
Well,
also
you know what? It was National Tight Ends Day.
I was going to just that's where I was going. Yep.
Oh, we're in each
What?
other's heads. I like that.
Yeah.
It was National Tight Ends Day,
Yep.
um, which is really fun. It started off something that's kind of a joke in 2018, and it became something in 2019. And each and every single year, we've had a little bit more fun with it.
Yep.
But like, really, the cool thing about it is, and I know as a fan, people might be like, "Holy cow!" They talk a lot about tight ends on this one day, and they do. Like every single network, every single broadcast, everybody's talking about National Tight Ends Day, and I really appreciate that because the tight end position is. I think there's a lot of people in the NFL. If you're not playing fantasy football, you couldn't name a lot of the NFL tight ends,
Yeah.
and you can name a lot of them on National Tight Ends Day because they're all highlighted. They get talked about a little bit, and it was so cool to see that the tight end set a record on
Yeah.
National Tight Ends Day for most catches ever on a
Yep.
Sunday with 177 catches. I think it was 16 or 17 touchdowns, which also I think it tied the record.
Yeah.
And so for the tight ends to ball out on National Tight Ends Day, how much fun is that? Just an absolutely incredible time, and it was just really fun to be able to kind of like cap off the night with a good night on National Tight Ends Day.
Yeah. No, it's super fun. And the whole day was that way, and people were making plays. And I don't know if OCs were dialing up the tight ends a little bit more or not, but anyway, whatever. But it was sure fun, and they were making the plays and having a lot of fun with it, and it's all that kind of stuff. Now, I just got to go back, though. You said in 2018 it was kind of a joke. I saw you do an interview where you were directly asked, what's the history of tight ends or National Tight Ends Day, and you said it's been going on for years and years and years, and has now just been formally recognized. Now,
Well, so when I want to say it was kind of a joke, Dad, in 2018, it was like we were just talking about on the sideline, and I think all that did was it helped everybody remember that National Tight Ends Day has been around, man. Like Mike Ditka used to celebrate National Tight Ends Day.
for
Now, like
sure.
he might have had like everybody hooping and hollering for it, but like Tony Gonzalez experienced it, Antonio Gates did. Shannon Sharp was definitely there on National Tight Ends Day.
Woo!
Yeah, all these guys were, and so they just kind of had to celebrate it on their own. But now there's a little bit more awareness, and more people are celebrating it. And like Larry, like go look at the calendar you just bought. It's on there somewhere.
For sure.
It's on there. I
Yeah,
promise.
like
Ish.
it. Anyway, well, it was a great National Tight Ends Day. We're grateful for it. It was super fun and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so Cowboys in the rearview mirror, we'll let them rest. and whether we see them or not, we won't worry about until whatever shows up for us.
But
So,
you know what happened right after the Cowboys dead?
okay.
The Niners had their Halloween party.
Oh, I was just that's just what I was going. I was going to Halloween. Okay.
Halloween party. You know, it's when you have a game, you get a, and it's at this great time too. You're going into the bye week, so guys will have a little bit more fun. You know, instead of drinking only waters, they might have a beer and a water. You know, guys, it's just fun to get everybody together with wives, girlfriends, husbands, like just have everybody together. And you know, I like to open it up to staff too, whether it's equipment managers, video, training room. It's open to everybody. Not really coaches, but some coaches still always show up. But not all the coaches. But it's just a fun time to get everybody to hang out, let loose a little bit, enjoy themselves. And you know, it's weird too because while I'm in the building every single day with all these guys, my wife usually only sees the other wives, unless it's like one of her best friends on Sundays. And sometimes they hardly even see each other on Sundays too because everybody's kind of doing their own thing, has their own schedule. So it's just fun to get everybody out and hanging out a little bit. It just builds the team camaraderie, gets people to have conversations that they might normally have. It was really fun. It's also fun to dress up with your friends, and just enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
It went really
Well,
well.
I know that there was a big ass Mandalorian spotted at the party, and
That dude was yoked, wasn't he?
he was yoked as
Dude
hell.
was yoked. Wow.
Yeah. And Princess Leia was well protected. It was one of those alternate universes, is what I understand. But anyway, yeah, so that was pretty cool. So,
That was really fun. Yeah, shout out to my guy Alex Tran for setting that up with a bunch of different people to get all that stuff done in about 2 weeks
yeah.
instead of the 3 months it usually takes. So that was Jawan Jennings' idea. He wanted to be the Mandalorian, and I hit up Alex, and he got the ball rolling. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to pass up on this either. I'm going to join, and I'm also going to be the Mandalorian. And I'm glad that I did. I just got it boxed up. Who knows? I might just wear the helmet around because it was pretty comfortable, and you can really see out of it. It's good. I,
Well,
I should drive in that, right? Safety.
safety first. Yeah. Get a little chin strap, you'll be good to go. So, anyway, all right. And then Halloween, I just in passing have to say that was your mom's, my wife's Jan's father's birthday, Bub Krager. So we
It
mentioned him
was
on the
Bob.
show. Bub's birthday was on Halloween, and then his anniversary was the next day. They got married. So anyway, it would have been, gosh, I can't remember now,
Bruce and
60.
Bub.
Yeah, Bruce and Bub, good football player and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. Okay, so Cowboys and Halloween and the Mandalorian rearview mirror, and then you rolled into bye week. So I know you
That
guys
we did.
had to go in for a day or so and watch tape and kind of get everything cleaned up, and then Shanahan cut you guys loose. How has your bye week been? I think you're back in Cali now, but do you want to share any tidbits about that as far as the trip and
Sure. Um, Me and Claire's kind of set up last second, but we went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Um, Me and Claire we like mountains. We like the cold a little bit, and so just getting something a little bit different. We went to Montana the year before, Tahoe the year before that, and so just want to try something different. We had a family friend who had a house out at Jackson Hole, let us stay there. A very big thank you to them. We had a fantastic time, and then the Purdy's also, Brock and Jenna, went to Jackson Hole with us, stayed at different houses, but the flight together was fun. And then I would also say that the very first day we were there, me and Brock, all we wanted to do was get around to golfing, and it's a little hard to do in late October
yep.
in Wyoming. It's pretty cold, and some snow flurries and stuff like that. And um, my we got an inn. It was actually pretty wild. We drove through a mountain pass into the state of Idaho, and golfed at a golf course in Idaho, which was I think it was called Tributary. We're the only people on the course. The course actually, we golfed on Wednesday. It closed on Thursday, and Thursday afternoon it snowed on Halloween, and so we got a great round of golfing. While we were, I mean, it was beautiful. We were the only two out there. Jenna and Claire came, and we also had a caddy. His name was Justice. Fantastic name.
Okay.
Um, but he was great. Helped us out, and it was cool too. Like on the back nine, we saw a bald eagle was on a dead tree, like kind of out in the middle of the fairway ish,
Ooh, yeah.
and he was flying around. And then by him flying, it kind of drew our attention. We saw three moose were out there, kind of probably like 100 yards off the fairway, out and just like not the golf course, but seeing three moose, no bulls, so but no antlers, but seeing three moose out there. They're massive beans,
Oh,
absolutely massive. When as soon as I saw them, it just reminded me of the time that I think you and me we were in the Rocky Mountain National Park, right? And we were driving up the road, and then I think we were the only guy. I think we were the only car, but like we just like saw something moving in the trees. You stopped, and all of a sudden, this a giant bull moose comes out with a giant rack, like
giant.
huge. And I think we're in the Forerunner, and shout out Toyota, and we're in the Forerunner, and this thing just walks like right past us, and its shoulders are taller than the car door.
Yeah, it was a full
Thing,
7 foot, easy.
oh, seven
Yeah,
feet easy, huge rat. Like it was an absolute monster. And
yep,
so it just reminded me of that. And it's just like, wow, you forget how they make horses look tiny.
yep,
And like horses look like these big, majestic beasts. Then you see a moose in person, you're like, oh dear Lord, keep
yeah,
that thing away from me.
yeah.
Or I
They're
could
big.
ride it. That'd be cool. I'd love to ride one.
Well,
Just
good
kidding.
luck with that. Well, that's really
Yeah.
cool. Well, nice to get out and just be
Yeah,
out in nature a little bit and see the
that
mountains
was
and
fun.
where
That
and
was we
just
then it was cool too. Jackson has a fun town square, kind of like Santa Fe-ish, and a bunch of bars, fun stores and stuff to go in. I bought a bunch of coffee cups. I like coffee cups. I like to gift coffee cups from cool places. Um, so I somehow came home with 6 coffee cups. Ha! I have a problem. Um, and I also bought a bunch of local coffee and brought back because one of my favorite things about the Niners is our head athletic trainer, Dustin Little. In his office, he has a pour over coffee thing. And I always try to bring back different coffees anytime I leave, um, just so we have new stuff to try, besides just what you could buy at the store. So I have a couple different local Wyoming coffees that I brought back. I'm excited. I drank one of them while I was there, and it was delicious. So looking forward to opening up the other 6 bags that I brought home for them. That was great. But like the square was a fun time because they call it trunk or treat, and so like half of the square was blocked off with all these cars parked for kids to trick or treat at because someone said that like Jackson's not a great trick or treat town, and so they make an effort to like have the square closed down. So kids, families, everywhere, all over, while we're like me and Claire are just kind of walking around, going from stores to different bars just to try to get the full experience. And one of the funniest ones was um, we're walking across the street and there's a family of had to been like 8 to 10 people, and they're all in full body grizzly bear costumes, and not like just like a onesie you zip up you buy off of Amazon, like nice grizzly bears, and like from what they had, it was like basically like really nice suit from the neck down, then this like with a flappy hood, but like very good costumes. And out of the 10 people, 8 of them were adults and 2 of them were kids. And I was just like, you guys are having more fun than the kids are, and they were hooting and hollering. So that was pretty fun to see too. I like Halloween. I like when the families are all out there and all the parents get involved with it too because it is fun. So I enjoyed that. Jackson was a great time. We had a lot of great food. Um, Great time. And honestly, we spent a lot of time just kind of hanging out on our back porch, looking at the Tetons. And the house we were at was on a golf course too that was closed, but we took the golf cart out and just drove it around the course because it had some like nice higher up views where you could see like all the mountain ranges around, and it was beautiful. Deanie liked it. She had all the fairways to herself. She was just running, chasing geese, having a great time. Geese poop a lot, by the way. Like everywhere, she's covered in geese poop. It was crazy. Um,
yes, yep.
but overall, we had a fantastic time. It snowed one of the days, and like these big, massive flakes, like 2 or 3 inches of snow. And then the day that we left today, it was like 45, 50 degrees, absolutely beautiful. It was a great time. We had a fantastic time of resetting, hanging out together, and looking forward looking forward to next week. It's funny you go on this buy, right? And then
Yep.
you're trying to relax as best you possibly can, but then you have to remember that literally in a week you're going back to play eight to nine straight football games. What,
Yep.
9 straight football games for seeding going into the playoffs, and there's not another buy available unless you're the 1 seed. So that's kind of a crazy thing. Um, so we are um, that hits you really. I would say like Saturday, Sunday, when all the NFL games are on and you're sitting on your couch. It's very, I don't want to say triggering, but like the itch is very, it's getting you, and you're ready to roll again. So I'm excited to see all the boys again and get to work on Monday.
Right. It's like being a surfer and you know the surf's coming and there's the wave. You're not quite grabbing your board yet, but you know that bunch of energy is rolling right at you. So that's pretty cool. Well, George, kind of with that, you're talking a little bit about kind of the mental side of that. But so the bye week, I mean, you know, people have different records coming in and out. Some teams do a great job with it. Some people really struggle with it and all that kind of stuff. I didn't check what the Niners do, but um, for a player though, as you're going into this, so this is year 8 for you. So there's the obviously the physical side of just getting away from it and resting your body and letting you know additional recovery options. So you got that side, and then just getting out of the building a little bit is probably really helpful. And then just that mental piece about disengaging in a way, but like you said, not fully because you know the road ahead. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Frodo and Sam, they come over the mountain and they can see you know Mount Doom over there, but they got a long way to go yet, and that's kind of second half of the season. There's a lot to go through. So, what? Tell me about that transition a little bit out and transitioning back, and then just how is it for the body? I mean, it seems like you know a lot of guys needed a little bit of extra rest, and hopefully this will help to our overall health situation for everybody.
Mentally, I think as long as you approach the bye week as taking time off, but like not treating it as like, hey, it's like the first day of summer. Like, hey,
Yeah,
you have some time off, but like when you come back, there's a lot that is going to there's a lot that's coming, right? And so what
yeah,
you want to like take the time to relax, but like while you're relaxing, like, hey, don't take it as a week to go to Miami and go to clubbing every single night. That's probably not a good idea. Nothing against that, but that's not what I would do by any means. So like go somewhere where you can like detach from society a little bit, relax, let your body calm down because like every single day is a mental and physical grind. And but at the same time, like put yourself put yourself in a position to succeed. Then when the week you come back, like make sure you work out. If you want to run, if you want to ride the bike, do a little cardio. Like I don't need you to go out there for 4 days and like go run and do all that stuff. You don't need to do that. If you want to, by all means do it. But like just make sure that you're still it's in your head, like go work out, go do something, get your body moving again. Because if you just take like a full 7 days off and do absolutely nothing, I promise you it's going to be very difficult to just jump right back in the saddle.
yeah.
And then,
Okay.
what else did you say? What was the last thing you
Well,
said?
well, just kind of transitioning back into the building. So as you disengage, but I think you kind of cover that. It's like the difference between first day of summer where you got 3 months off versus just having a, you know, it's like Christmas break kind of, you know what I mean? Like in school, you know, you're going back, short time window and all that kind of stuff. And so you got to kind of keep your mind on that and be focused to it to some extent, but yet you get to rest a little bit and you're not in that daily grind in the same way you are. So hopefully that's been refreshing for all the chaps, and we'll be ready to grind and head back because we know that's what it's really going to be about. So, okay, so we got that mental, physical. Okay, now that. So let's see. Unless you got something else on the bye week, this week we turn in week 10 to the state of Florida and our
Ooh,
good friends, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'll just throw a few stats out, and then I know you haven't prepped, and I mean you're not back in the building yet, so you don't know exactly where Shannon's going. But excuse me, we know these guys a little bit. So anyway, Tampa Bay comes in at 4-4 this weekend. They play the Kansas City Chiefs, which are 7-0. We know they are about 10-point deficit on that side of things. So in the point
yeah.
spread, so see how they turn out there. They've kind of started good and all that kind of stuff, but they've lost 3 of their last 4. In that 3 of 4, they've lost to Atlanta twice, then the Ravens, and in the middle of that, they beat the Saints 3 games ago. So, but anyway, offensively though, they're actually top 5 in just about every category. So fourth in points scored, fourth in yards per game, second
Yeah.
in team, 10th in rush, first and third downs, and all that kind of stuff. Time of possession, 6th. It's really a little bit more on defense. They're last in points allowed in the league right now. They've given up more points on defense than any other team in the league. So, and again,
I
you
like
know,
that.
I do too. I'm super excited about that. So sacks, they've gotten some pressure. They're eighth in there, but interceptions, they're in the bottom half, so they haven't done very much with that. So, but teams have found ways to score on them. So, and I haven't watched any film and all that, but just as a preview for that. But they got Baker Mayfield and they got some players and good people and all that kind of stuff. And at home they're going to be jacked up because they're sitting at 4-4 just like we are, and they're figuring they're ready to rumble and get going
Yeah.
again. So we'll see
Well,
about that. Go ahead.
um, Tampa's a good football team. Earlier in the season, they went into Detroit and won.
Yep.
And Detroit is, I think everyone would say they're probably the hottest team in the NFL between them and the Chiefs, and the Ravens. Um, but they have, I think what's tough for Tampa right now is, Chris Godwin, him getting hurt on that Monday night game against the Ravens, like in the last minute. It's brutal, and I feel horrible for him because he's a guy he's had to bounce back for some gruesome injuries, and he always comes back at a very high level and plays at a really high level. And then I know they lost Mike Evans, who is one of the most underrated, under talked about, underappreciated wide receivers to ever play the game. Just 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's incredible. He had a little hammy thing, so I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he's playing tomorrow. I don't know if he's playing against us, but he makes their offense way scarier, just because of how good he is. But like Baker's going to put points up. He's a gunslinger. He keeps plays alive. He throws an interception or two once in a while, but like he's very efficient. Otherwise, he's very good with the ball. He can throw the ball 20 times a game, or if you need to throw the ball 40 times a game, he can do them both at a very high level. And so, um, their offense, our defense have to be, playing at the best of their ability to slow them down as best they can, and then our offense is going to have to execute, be our best, convert on third down, stay on the field, and they've got great defensive players too. Vita Vea in the middle is one of the best D tackles. I mean, he's just an absolute monster. Just he's a game wrecker. It doesn't even matter. You can assign two offensive linemen to him, and sometimes it doesn't do anything because he's just so massive. But he's not like it's crazy too. Like when you watch him, like he's so big, but he still moves really well, and it's just crazy seeing that because a lot of like I think you look back, 10, 15 years ago, and like a lot of teams had their huge defensive tackles, but like they weren't moving. They just kind of stood there and took up two blocks every single time. He's moving, he's penetrating, he's tackling the ball carrier, he's getting sacks. There was a time where we played the Buccaneers a couple years ago, and like they hit him as the spinner, like off the ball, blitzing from off the ball,
Right.
and you don't do that with a lot of massive human beings. So I always enjoy going against him because he requires extra attention. No, but hey, I do have to give a little bit of love to my guys on Tampa from our boy Justin School, who used to be a Niner, trained with him every single day in Nashville. He's their backup tackle. Um, my guy Graham Barton, their rookie center. He spent June and July with us down in Nashville. Great kid, good football player. So I'm excited to see him. And then my guy, our Go Hawks, Tristan Wirfs. He's out there as well. So it'd be fun to see all the boys and say what's up to everybody. I'm looking forward to that. Hey, and their tight end Kate Otten had 2 touchdowns on National Tight Ends Day, so he knows
Oh,
he knows what's going on.
he's all in. Yeah. Well, they always say that football is family, and I don't. If you're not in that family, you don't quite get it maybe in the same way. But it is really true. There's kind of a bloodline that runs through it, and people appreciate. I mean, players respect players, and it's just kind of that's the name of it. So it's all part of that kind of thing. So, well, we're looking forward to more about Tampa Bay as the week unfolds. Hopefully, people stay healthy and we get a great practice weekend and travels go well and all that kind of stuff.
I
So,
also forgot Anthony Nelson is their starting defensive end,
yeah,
who's also
there's
an Iowa guy.
another Hawkeye out there.
We've had some good battles. It's fun to go against him. He's a tall, lanky dude. We played a lot against each other in college and a lot in the NFL now too. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Things come full circle. So, okay. So, well, we don't have any Ask Georges because all those went to Emma and she's not available and I didn't get them.
Huh.
So, I don't have any.
Let's see. Ask George. George, what do you want to be next year for Halloween? Oh, that's a great question, George.
Great question. Thank you, Timmy from St. Louis.
Yeah, thank you. What I would say is I've had the two routes that I want to go is I either want to go like full Marvel and like do like I'm thinking like Thor Ragnarok
Ooh,
because um I could definitely be Thor. I could pull that one off, I think. Or I could branch out and be Loki. That could be fun as well. Um, but then Claire could be the evil sister. I think her name's Hela, Hela, or something like that. Um, I think that could be fun because she wears this huge pointy helmet thing, and Claire's response was, "Well, then no one can get close to me." I'm like, "Well, Claire, you don't ever want anyone close to you, anyways, so it'd be
I,
a great outfit choice."
I'll let
So
you.
I think so either like Thor Ragnarok, or on the other side, for those listening, I'm wearing a Lord of the Rings shirt, and I thought it'd be really funny to do a Lord of the Rings like full group, so get as many people as we can. Except I want all the girls to be hobbits. Like so all the girls are the hobbits and the guys are like the fellowship. And I think that would be really fun. I think I'd either go I think I'd go as Gandalf just because I have the beard for it. Dye the beard
Now,
white.
yeah. Now there's some pretty powerful women though in the Lord of the Rings movies and book. I mean, the Elven
Sure,
Queen.
100%. But I think it'd be really funny if they were all hobbits with
Okay,
big fat fake feet.
I like the fat fake feet.
I think Claire would have to be Aragon Strider. She could
Yeah,
pull that off. She could pull that off. She could do 5 o'clock shadow. She'd figure it out.
yeah.
But I think that'd be pretty funny just to do the whole fellowship.
In some way. Okay, all good. I like it. Well, we'll look forward to those two options. And what if someone asks, "Hey George, what's your favorite Halloween candy to get?"
Ooh, my favorite Halloween candy. So I had one piece of candy for Halloween, and
Okay,
it was a Kit Kat bar, and it was just one of the kid size. It was one of the miniatures. So I had one Kit Kat, which
okay.
is not fair, but I like Kit Kat bars. I like the crunch. Those Claire's favorite are the Reese's. Um, I will say the Reese's. It's like Take Five bar. It's like a Reese's. It's like a Reese's Snicker bar. Those are crazy too. But I don't eat a lot of candy. I try my best not to. It's hard for me to stop eating candy once I start.
Right.
So I just
Plus
try not
they
to start.
they have dairy in them, and you're not too good with dairy either.
I'm not a big kid. I'm not. I wish I was.
Yeah, so a little tough there. Okay. All right. Well, good. And then how about just last, what was your other favorite costume at the gathering of the
Ooh,
Niners?
you know what? That's a great one. There were a couple of really good ones. Um, Chris Conley and his wife were in a Goofy movie, and I can't remember what their character was, but like they were in like a yellow jumpsuit, and they were like a musical act from the movie, and that was really well done. Um, Jake Brindle and his wife Zan, he was Dexter from the Showtime show where he's like the serial killer
Yeah.
who's also like he works for the police force. So he had like the what do the chefs wear? He had the apron on and like blood on him, and she was just wrapped in the whatever that synth the see
Whole
through.
thing kind of thing.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really good. Trying to think what else. Oh, two rookies, Mason Pline, my tight end, and Tanner Mordecai were Dumb and Dumber, so they were in the orange and blue suits. But then Tanner Mordecai's girlfriend was Mary from the movie, and she looked identical to Mary. Like the scene where she's going to the airport, so she has a little black hat on, like the black vest, looked identical. I did like a triple take. I was like, is that actually her? So that was very well done.
Okay.
Um, I really appreciated those two. The use checks were fantastic as always from my cousin Vinny. They looked great. Um, Trent and Sarah Taylor were Costco employees who were handing out things. They were handing out Jello shots. That was pretty funny.
Pretty good.
Trying to think who else. Oh, Aaron Banks was Zero from Holes, which is funny because Zero is like a very small character. You know the Shia LaBeouf movie,
Yeah.
and he's Aaron Banks is not small. He's a massive human being.
Massive.
So I enjoyed that. There were a lot of great outfits though. I appreciated the guys who put a little time and effort into it. Ricky Pearsall was Soldier Boy, him and his girlfriend. That was really funny. But yeah, no, I had it was a great time.
Okay. All right. Well, very, very good. Okay. Then last Ask George. They just all popped up on my phone here. Um, of the coming road trips, do you have, and not to make any sound lesser, but are there any places that you're really looking forward to playing?
No, that's a great thing. I meant to talk about this earlier. We're going to Tampa, right? And that is it changes up your whole week because we always leave a day earlier for when you travel out of the time zone. And so we were gonna leave. All of our stuff gets pushed up on. So we have extra stuff on Thursday to take stuff out of Friday, and then we leave Friday at like noon instead of 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so we're gone Friday afternoon until so like I sleep in my bed Thursday night. I wake up Friday morning, and then I'm gone. Basically, we do like 3 or 4 hours at the facility. Then we're on the buses to the plane, and you got however long that flight is, 5 hours.
Yeah.
Um, and like that's one thing we haven't had. We had like I think the only long flight we've had so far is Minnesota, right?
Yep.
I think, and that's 3.5 hours, but it's not like the longest flight. And so it's the flight is something that guys have to take advantage of because you don't really want to sleep for the entire flight because then you land at 10 p.m. in Tampa Bay and then you can't sleep and then you're staying up till 2 a.m. and then you're waking up for walkthrough and then your sleep's messed up for the game. You don't want to do that. So like I try to stay up as long as I can, or like right when I get on the plane, I try to sleep for like an hour and then I wake up and that then I'm anywhere from studying film, reviewing my plays, um, talking. If I have a question about something that Brock likes or doesn't like, because one thing that's nice about Brock and Coach Shanahan is Brock likes to give him like his favorite third down plays. Hey, so like in 2 to 6, these are my three favorite plays. In 7 to 10, these are my three favorite. And so I always like to know those from him, just so I know that I'm extra 100% prepared for those plays to get called because most of our third downs have a bunch of weird motions and like they're very game specific plays. So like they're not. It's usually not just like hey trips right, why Chevy, yada yada, plaster. It's like why Corvette is what it would be in a 3x1. But like it's usually not that easy. So like just having that extra time to prepare for those moments is big. But yeah, so you were flying to Tampa. One I'm really looking forward to. I always love playing at Green Bay, Lambeau Field, historic, incredible environment. Um, it's incredible. So I love playing there. I think a lot of the Green Bay fans aren't huge fans of me right now because I talked a little crap last year, which I thought I wasn't on air for that. I thought that was a one-on-one conversation with me and my Iowa fan who's a Green Bay fan on Pat McAfee's show. But it is what it is. I said it. Tough for me, but
There you go.
yeah, it is what it is. But I do love playing in Lambeau. Just a great atmosphere. But I've never played in Buffalo, so that's the last stadium I haven't played in. Um, so going up there to play them first week of December, that'll be really cool. And then going down to play Miami and Miami. Like we have a lot of big trips. Was it Tampa, Green Bay, Buffalo, and then Miami's later in the year. So like we have some big trips ahead of us, and hopefully, um, us as a team can use that extra time to get what we need to get done. Lastly on those long trips too is I'm a huge fan of them. Like the flight home is brutal, but like the flight there on that Friday, because like a normal Friday, like if we're playing at home, you get done with your stuff Friday, you have your body maintenance stuff, right? And then you go home, you have your normal Friday, and then a lot of people have friends and family in town. I do, but like we do a fantastic job of like, hey, if I need time alone and stuff like that, everybody in my house does a great job. We understand it now because we're in year 8. We're pretty smooth sailing that. But like younger guys in the league who haven't established their routines and stuff like that. Sometimes there's I don't want to say distractions, but you're not as focused potentially um, as you were like if you're on a plane for 5 hours and there's nothing to do except for sleep, watch a movie, or study, and you can only sleep for so long. And I don't think you're gonna go watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. You can, but you can, you can if you want. I honestly do suggest that. It's probably a great idea. But like it kind of forces everybody to study a little bit more. And
Right.
and it is for example, like I don't talk to like Trent Williams, who, walking first ballot Hall of Famer, incredible, best in the world at what he did, what he's done. Um, but like we don't like talk like a ton of football outside of like, hey, what do you like on this outside zone? Like you don't really need to. We both played long enough. We both know what to expect for each other. But like when I'm on the plane and I'm sitting across from him and I see for like 3 straight hours all he's doing is watching film about like third down pass rushers, it's kind of sick just to see someone at that level in their game who's played for that long still taking the time to do all that stuff. And I have no idea if he does it at home for home games, but I know he does it every single time we have a road trip. And that's all he does is watch film. And so I just like that little extra time to be completely secluded by yourself to be able to study. I think is huge, and I think we always do. We do a pretty good job out. We do a really good job playing on those games.
Yeah. Kind of the culture of the team is kind of focused on preparation and kind of gets you all united in a way. And there's just an energy about being together and going that
Yes.
far, playing somebody on the road and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I
like,
certainly,
you're not focused on like a date night or doing something with your family. Like you're not focused on, and like those are fantastic things. You should be focused on those things. But like you want to be extra focused to win a football game. And
yeah,
this just allows us to do that. And I think, like everyone talks, like a lot of people talk about how we have less rest days, but that's tough in the NFL. Like, what are we, 21 less rest days than like the best team, which is
yeah.
crazy. But like those 5 hour trips and those times that you spend in the air, especially going there, are good. Like, I like those and I appreciate those. The flights home, like I said, those are tough. Like getting home at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in San Francisco and busting down to the stadium and then driving home from there. That's a grind, but it is what it is. It's my job. I love it.
You're in the NFL. Thank goodness.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are all the Ask Georges. So I think that's pretty good. That's exciting. Thank you for all those insights. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Buffalo. I mean, I love Green Bay. We've been up there a bunch before and watching you play up there. And some of the games have been terrific. So great fans and great spirit and all that kind of stuff. And so it'll be really cool. And then Miami, of course, we know people there. So that'll be kind of fun as well. So really interesting. So excellent. So well, then let's close up, George. Any signs of hidden pearls around that you might have bumped into?
Sure. A hidden pearl that I have two.
Oh,
One being in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. They're both for my bye week. Um, our dog Deanie, our Bernese Mountain Dog Poodle mix, she loves the snow.
yeah,
And the one day it snowed, and there's 2 to 3 inches of snow on the ground. She refused to come inside, and all she wanted to do was lay in the snow. And it just her appreciation for that, it just it it put a lot of warmth in my heart. And that's all she wanted to do is just play in the snow and then come inside and lay on the couch with us. And I just absolutely love that. Anyone that owns a dog understand, like when your dog loves something, it just kind of makes you appreciate it a little bit more. So just spending that extra like 15 minutes outside, just sitting there with my feet up next to a fireplace, watching her play in the snow. That was really fun. Next to my wife. That was really fun for me.
yeah.
Secondly, also in Jack's Hole, I think I said it, but watching a bald eagle on a tree take off and then kind of soar down and around is a majestical, incredible thing. And it instantly makes me feel just a love for America, a love for nature, but just also how cool bald eagles are, and just how massive they are. Really, you don't really realize how big of birds they are. But that was a cool moment. Just seeing a bald eagle is really fun.
Pretty powerful spirit animals, aside from the physical side and all that. So that's really good. The one thing about dogs is they're so good at living in the present moment. Like if the moment is really cool, they're just gonna they're not leaving until you force them to pull them out of it. She's gonna be in that snow and she's gonna enjoy the cold on her feet and her paws and the whole thing until that. And sometimes we're not very good at that. We might be in a glorious moment, but we're still thinking about something coming up or
Or
something
getting
that happened.
distracted, getting
Yeah.
distracted by something on your phone, like you miss
Yep.
those cool moments sometimes. And so that was like part of it. Is like, that was a reminder for me to just put your phone down. There's no text, there's no Instagram, Twitter, TikTok thing. There's nothing on there that's as cool as what you're doing. And you don't need to technically share it if you don't want to. You can just sit there and appreciate the moment.
Well, I always think about that. We used to live a lot of our lives without sharing it with anybody. I mean, back then when we had regular film, you didn't take pictures like you did because you had to pay for the all that, and then you had to develop them and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of things that you just had to remember and just appreciate that way. So, well, I'm just going to go. I think two of the hidden pearls for us as a family this week is that Emma and Cody adopted a rescue. I think a
Yeah.
Belgian Malinese, I think it is called. Is that right?
Police
Something like
dog. Looks like
yeah.
a police dog.
Yeah, so kind of an offshoot of the German Shepherd stuff. So young, I think 6 months or something like that, and then they've gotten moved back to Tennessee. But anyway, and then Jan and I were fortunate enough to come across with some help from our friends at Operation Freedom Paws. 5-month-old German Shepherd. So we started the training process. I think he's training me more than I'm training him right now. But anyway, we're getting to it.
You haven't
So
had a puppy in your life in a while.
long time. And I mean, I told myself puppies are going to be different. We've always adopted older dogs, so we didn't have to deal with all that. But there's a joy and an unbounding energy that is pretty cool, but it can also kind of wear you out at 4 a.m. when they demand to get up and go play. Anyway, but we're working through that because, as we always talk, nothing's permanent. So he will work through that stage. He's been super smart and his training's going really good. So it's been super fun. And actually, one of the things I'm excited about, it's really pushed me out of some of the routines that I'm in. And I like my routines and all that kind of thing, but sometimes it's good to kind of just mix things up and
It is.
put a little different energy in there. So that's been really good. So, okay, well, there you go. I think that's a wrap. That's really good. Appreciate conversation, George. Great to see you. Glad you're home safe. We are super excited about the second half of the season, have all kinds of faith that the Niners ship is cruising in the right direction, and look forward to a lot more exciting games. Although it does feel like one of those seasons where, I mean, it might change, but like every fourth quarter, you're going to be paying attention, because and that's the NFL in general. I mean,
It's
most
going
of
to be
the time,
it's going to be a gritty season.
it's going to be a gritty
And you know
season.
what's fun about gritty seasons?
Winning.
That, and I'm built for it.
I know, that's what I mean. And
Let's
I think we're kind of built for that as a team. So, but we've been through that before and we understand that deal and it's all good. So, and it just takes like one or two, you pull off a couple, the road victory, come back, get Seattle. All of a sudden you got 2 in a row. People are feeling good, get some people healthy, and bam, next thing you know, Niners are rolling. So, all right. Well, shout out to all our friends, family, and viewers. Thanks for joining us for this week 9-10 episode. And George, really appreciate your time. Thank you. It's great to see you. Always love talking ball with you. So thank you. And look forward to seeing you out in Tampa Bay. Should be really exciting. So
have fun in Nashville.
Yeah, we'll be at the barn and doing some things there and all that kind of stuff. So we got a lot lined up. So we're taking care of some mid things. All right, brother. Take care. Give Claire a hug for me and Deanie. And I think we're a wrap. So take care, everybody. Have a super great week. Love, peace, joy, kindness, forgiveness, and inclusion. Namaste and all things.
Call your mom if you can. Love you guys. See ya.